Guys, let's just dive into the trauma of it all. My dad, very supportive, loves my comedy, very supportive of my career. My mom hates it, okay, because life is about balance. And it's ironic because whatever funny I have, I got from my mom. She's a very funny woman, okay? All right, she's been in this country for 30 years. English is her, right? English is her third language. But she's giving it a bronze level effort. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't, she don't care no more. She's not trying. And I knew she wasn't trying because the other day I pointed to asparagus and she called it spiders. Spiders after 30 years? I immediately became a Republican. I was like, you don't deserve citizenship. We gotta get you out. You don't deserve it. Fox News is right about you. You know what I mean? Oh. My mom's from Somalia, which is a country in East Africa. Thank you, 2.5 people. Country in East Africa, a very black country. I mentioned that because she didn't grow up around white people. And as a result, she doesn't understand racism, okay? It doesn't really affect her in the same way, okay? And I knew it didn't affect her because a homeless white dude being super racist was just shouting things at my mom, okay? And he's like, you don't belong here. Go back to where you came from. And my mom was like, yeah, I hate snow, okay? When airline ticket prices go down, I will go. Just didn't work on her. My mom was also recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, okay? Which is the type that is your fault. You know what I mean? JK. I'm kidding, JK. Anyway, yeah, she's got the diabetes, and we had to go to diabetes education, and the nurse had a list of all the ethnic groups that are more likely to get diabetes and high blood pressure, okay? And on that list, I saw 0 white people. Shout out to y'all. White priv, juicy, delicious, diabetes-free. Good for you guys, okay? And whatever you guys, and I always tell white people this, now that I found this out, I'm like, don't let black and brown people bully you guys into seasoning your food. You understand, okay? You stay unseasoned, okay? Flavor kills, nigga, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're on the list, you aren't. Don't do it. What I like about that joke is the white people that get it laugh, and then the white people that don't are uncomfortable. Either way, I win. You know what I mean? Making white people uncomfortable is my heroine. Do you understand? I love it so much. Thank you to the 7 people that clapped. I love it so much. Listen, enough with the anti-white rhetoric. Just to switch things up, and this is without any sarcasm, I have compiled a list of all the things that I genuinely love about Caucasian culture, okay? About white people. I'm not even lying. Round of applause for white people. We have the list right here. That was a trap and you failed. White people don't need applause. Okay, all right. Number 1 on the list of things I love about white people. Okay, we're talking small talk. Day-to-day politeness. You understand? No one does small talk like white people, okay? All right? Have you ever tried to engage in small talk with an immigrant uncle? We're going straight to the Illuminati. You understand? There are no levels. You understand? Nothing. Okay? All right, next on the list, we got equipment sports, okay? All right? It's on the list. I'm not even lying. Equipment sports, okay? We're talking skiing, golfing, curling, hockey, okay? If white people are not spending minimum $200 to do a sport, they're not having it. You understand? And honestly, I think it's genius. You know what I mean? It's a great way to weed out all of the talented pores. You know what I mean? Right? Because it's like, you can't compete against me because you can't afford to. I love it. So smart. So smart. Oh, okay. Next. Oh, this one's a good one. You guys gonna like this one. Oh, Irish river dancing. From the knees down, white people got all the rhythm, okay? Stop saying white people can't dance. I don't know if you know, but we've been for years saying that you guys can't dance. And that's not true, okay? Knees down, though, that is the caveat. That is the caveat, okay? Okay. All right. And then next we have white words like bummer. Shout out to the Kyle that invented that. Bummer? Stop. One time, I had a friend of mine who's black tell his white friend about something racist that had happened to him, okay? And the white friend was like, whoa, bummer city, bro. Like that's what MLK would have wanted, you know? And the last thing, personal favorite of mine, during the lockdown, we saw a lot of viral videos of, racist white women. And then as a result, the name Karen became a slur, which, beautiful time. But that's not what we're here to discuss, okay? What was interesting about that time was at no point, okay, white women were getting thrown under the bus left, right, and center, and at no point did I see any white men stick up for their white women. They were just like, get her. Like, they didn't care. Heat's off of us. They didn't care. It's a beautiful time. No loyalty in the Caucasian community at that time. It's great. It's great. I love it. The black people are laughing extra hard at you guys. I invited them. They're here because of me. You're welcome. And that concludes the list. I really thought I had more. I'm so sorry. That's all I like. I mean, ranch isn't that interesting, but you guys really like that, so good for you. You guys ever have one of those days where you look in the mirror and you're like, I could have tried, I could have done better, I was having one of those days a while back, okay, and I had my glasses on. They were so dirty. I had sweats on, too lazy to do laundry. And I was looking in this mirror, and I was being so mean and so self-critical, okay? And it's in this busy restaurant, and then this man, total stranger, walks by, stops, sees me, and goes, you would look way prettier if you didn't wear glasses, you wore makeup, and high heels. And then just walks away, okay? And I was like, whoa, this is so much sexism coming at one. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. This is a man telling a woman how to dress. I was so weirded out, okay? But then, plot twist, I saw the same man later that night kissing another man. And then everything changed. I was like, is he a gay sexist or the fairy godmother I never knew I needed? Because what I'm selling, he's not buying, okay? So his advice was coming from a pure place, you know what I mean? Untouched, really. I think he walked by, saw me, and was like, girl, you have so much potential, you don't even realize, and then just walked off, What I'm saying is, it was a drive-by queer eye. That's really what it was. All right, you guys have been great. Thank you.